So I have with me Rajiv Chandrasekhar. He is the challenger to Shashi Tharoor's three-term MPship. Mr. Chandrasekhar, first of all, congratulations on this candidate and the fact that you seem to be making a difference, even though it's just a month. There is a buzz that is being created, which wasn't there from earlier BJP candidates.
No, I think, look, the fact of the matter is these elections always are a referendum on the performance of a government or a performance of an MP if he's a sitting MP. And it is clear that Tirunelvelam for the last 10-15 years has been stuck in a time warp. And really there is very little evidence of any progress. There has been no investment at all of any kind. Youth, 37% of the undergraduate seats are vacant in Kerala. And so therefore, I came in from day one on the 4th of evening when I came into Tirunelvelam. I came in and campaigned on a plank of Purogati and Vikasanam, which means prosperity and development. I talked about skilling, I talked about investments, jobs, and certainly it is something that everybody wants. People don't want the same status quo that they have experienced for the last 15 years, and therefore I think the message is a message, and the intention of what I intend to do in terms of change is certainly what people are responding to very strongly.
But were you surprised when you were given the candidature, or were you expecting it?
I was asked last year whether I preferred Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha, and I had said Lok Sabha. And then earlier in January, I was asked what is the seat that I would prefer, and I had said that I am certainly open to contesting in Tirunelvelam if I was told that, because it is the capital of Kerala, and it's certainly a very, very prestigious place to represent in Parliament and in government. So I had mentioned that to the Honourable Prime Minister. He, of course, did not say anything at that stage. And then the party told me on the 3rd of March, and here I am.
But when the Congress campaign calls you the outsider, how would you react to that?
I am an outsider to the traditional politics that the Congress, the UDF and the LDF have done for the last 50 years in Kerala. They have played a nice little jugalbandi for 50 years and fooled the people of Kerala for far too long. So I admit that I'm an outsider to their brand of politics. But certainly I have said this even when Pinarayi Vijayan was accusing me of being of a communal person. I said I am more Malayali than Pinarayi is, certainly more Malayali than both the players, or equally Malayali as both the other candidates. So I think that is a bit of a foolish argument, and certainly for the Congress, who had foisted Sonia Gandhi as their president for years and had taken Manmohan Singh and made him get elected from Assam, and now Rahul Gandhi is imported from UP to Wayanad. For them to talk about outsiders is a bit too much, in my opinion, even for the most thick-skinned Congress diehard. That is a little too much. It's taking irony and killing it, and then talking about outsiders.
But they talk about Shashi Tharoor's 15-year-old track record, the fact that he's been elected again and again and defeated many BJP candidates also. So what can you do that the other predecessors could not?
I don't have to do anything. I have to do what is right for the people of Tirunelvelam. I have promised them development. I promised them a politics of performance. You know me, the last 18 years, I have not wasted even 1 minute of the opportunity that the people gave me when I became an MP. And I have not wasted a minute of an opportunity when I got to serve as a minister. So I am built like that. I am a person who likes to do things and get things done. And I'm certainly not amongst those who write letters and consider that being the reason for their existence in politics, or ask questions 2 times a session and say that that is my great goal towards the city or the people that elected me. So I am, of course, cut from a very different cloth from both my incumbent friends. And I think people recognize that I'm a doer. People recognize that I can get things done which haven't been done for the last 15 years.
But there is also a lot of similarity between you and Shashi Tharoor. Both of you are professionals. Let me finish. You are both, you have a global...
There is no similarity excepting for the fact that this loose definition of professional, as in we are both not conventional politicians. but I would take great offense to being remotely compared to him. He has a very, very different mindset and approach towards politics. I have a very different mindset and approach towards politics. I consider this as public service. I consider this as hard work. I consider this about getting things done. He is cut from a very, very different cloth, as you know yourself from being in Delhi. And I take great exception to to anybody who says we are both similar or same. So we are not at all. We are chalk and cheese as far as public life is concerned.
Okay, so what can you do for Thiruvananthapuram that he cannot? What is the one thing that you think, first thing you would do if you're elected?
It's not a question of one thing. This is not some card game that one guy wins. There is a comprehensive set of things. There are many crying challenges in Thiruvananthapuram that are all signs of deep neglect and negligence over the last 10-15 years. Today we were in a program which the coastal community and whole swathes of coastal community lands have been washed away over the last years. They have been left without homes. They are suffering. Their livelihoods have vanished over the last 5 years, and they are really a vulnerable community today. And the incumbent MP has only had this to say, that this is not my responsibility. It's the state government, and it's not the state government, it's the central government, and had made no effort to actually solve the problem. And that is the absolute difference, 180 degrees, between somebody like him and many other MPs like him, especially in the Congress, and me, which is that I will move heaven and earth to get people suffering addressed. I certainly cannot be, and I will never be, a mute spectator or a letter writer in the face of such deep suffering and turmoil and livelihood disturbances. So to that extent, I will certainly address issues of livelihood. I will address the issues of youth and skilling and preparing them for industries that are opening up. And
There is talk of bringing Apple here.
No, I have said that I'll certainly like to bring electronics manufacturing to Thiruvananthapuram. There is a port that is coming up, and one of the good things about a port-led economy is that it helps manufacturing industries, especially electronics manufacturing industries, become very competitive. So I think that is certainly an area. I've done this for Karnataka by taking the largest Foxconn factory to Karnataka. I have taken a lot of other manufacturing investments. I, as in Government of India, and I certainly think that Thiruvananthapuram, as we rebuild the economy of Thiruvananthapuram from what the Supreme Court refers to as mismanaged and crisis economy, that we are able to attract more technology investments, more manufacturing investments, more tourism investments, and more investments in fishing and the green blue economy. So I think these are all areas within the realm of possibility that can and must be done, and I intend to do it after I'm elected MP and I'm a minister in the new government.
Okay, a bit about your personal, you've been a 3-term Rajya Sabha MP. How is it, the Lok Sabha campaign? How are you finding it?
No, I have, as you know, I have campaigned extensively in Lok Sabha for a lot of my colleagues before. I have been
Pondicherry.
Yeah, I've been Prabharis of a state election. So it's not a totally new concept for me. Of course, doing it for myself is a very different thing.
Your picture on the brochure now today.
Yeah, so that is obviously different. It is obviously different to see my posters and hoardings and people reacting to me and responding to me as me rather than on somebody else's behalf. That is, of course, a different experience. I'm enjoying every minute of it. I'm extremely proud and proud and privileged to have been given this honor and privilege to represent Thiruvananthapuram. And I feel good because after a few days after I reached here, almost every relative of mine or most relatives of mine from all across Kerala traveled to Thiruvananthapuram to come and see me and wish me well and wish me success. So I think it was, it is and it was and it is a tremendous feeling to be a potential member of parliament for the capital of Kerala, Thiruvananthapuram.
Your campaign also, people say if they elect you, they're going to be electing a union minister. If they elect Shashi Tharoor, you'll just be electing an opposition MP.
Which is a fact, even though Mr. Tharoor tries desperately to delude himself and his voters that there is some miracle that is going to bring a Congress government to Delhi. I think even the most hard-nosed political cynic, including yourself, Priya, will accept that this is a third term for Narendra Modi ji. on June 4th, and it will be with a mandate that will be even more than the 2019 mandate. And when Tharoor says that, I just remind people that all the way up to 2019 results, the Congress and all their psephologists kept planting stories and weaving these, building these castles in the sky about how they were going to form a government, and they ended up with 40 seats. So I think we certainly know if there is any suspense, it is about how many seats the Congress will end up with. Will they cross 25 or will they cross 30? That certainly is a suspense.
Yeah, but what about the south for the BJP? You know, apart from Karnataka and a little bit in Telangana, Kerala, for instance, has been denied to the BJP for a very long time. Now we see this debate about, land which is given to Sri Lankans. So is these just politics of distraction or last minute something to appeal to the people of Tamil
No, it's a fact. I think the people of Tamil Nadu, especially the DMK, who pretends to be at every step the defender of the Dravidian faith and keeps arguing that they are defending Tamil Nadu against all kinds of influences from all around the country, are a party to giving up a part of their precious territory. Katchatheevu is not some small piece of speck in the ocean. It is a extremely important part of Tamil history. It is an important part of Tamil Nadu and Tamil Nadu's history, and all of that. And for that to be just given away at in the whim and fancy of a particular dynastic government, despite opposition from all kinds of levels of bureaucracy, is certainly something that needs to be discussed and spoken about. History is not there for people to just keep it on a shelf and have collect dust. History is out there, written and collated and documented for future generations to comment on and learn from.
History also has the 2015 land pact with Bangladesh.
Yeah, of course, and that is it's out there in the public domain. Everybody agreed. There is no bureaucrat that disagreed with it. There is a strategic reason for it. This is a case where everybody in the government disagreed with it, and still the government went ahead and did it. And by the way, the important issue here is that the DMK was party to it. The DMK that today talks about sovereignty of Sri Lanka and have supported separatist movements in Sri Lanka, that DMK was party to the decision, which is not the same in Bangladesh. In Bangladesh, Mamata Banerjee was party to it and agreed to it in West Bengal. So there is a difference. Even if people want to engage in whataboutery, they may want to read up before they bring Bangladesh into this whataboutery conversation. This is very, very central to the role of DMK and the double speak that the DMK represents today. They claim during the Sri Lankan conflict to speak for the Tamils. They wanted a separate Elam. They fought for, they encouraged it, and they, on the other hand, just gave up pieces of their own land. So that is worth talking about. That is certainly worth something that the DMK should open up and speak about, since they are otherwise very loquacious and articulate about Sanatan Dharma and malaria and dengue and all of that. I think this particular issue, they should trot out their father-son combo and have them speak about it.
Tell me something, as you've been a professional and then now you're into politics, how do you, I was there just now, there was a debate between you and Shashi Tharoor. I mean, you spoke on issues, there was nothing personal, which we don't see very often.
True. That is not true. The organizers told me not to make it personal.
You wanted to make it personal?
No, not to make it personal or politicize it. Talk only about the issues that they laid out. But Mr. Tharoor or Dr. Tharoor, whichever way you want to call him, decided to get very political about it. So look, it's par for the course, and I expect almost every Congress candidate to behave in this manner. But that was not what the organizers said. The organizers had said very clearly that these are these 18 questions and 18 issues that pertain to us. Please stick to that. Don't make it political. And I stuck to the script. I laid out who I am, what I intend to do, how I intend to approach these problems. I never mentioned a word of anything or his 15 years, but he certainly had more to say about this dream of him forming a Congress government in 2024 in Delhi, which is a combination of, I think, delusion and not adequate sleep, perhaps.
But this is not an easy fight for you. Tiruvandrum is one of the few legacy seats, you could say. And I saw a picture of Indira Gandhi here, which you don't see very many.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, it is a state where the UDF, that is the Congress-led UDF, and the LDF have in some sense kept aside everybody, and wherever there was a third party or a third pole that came up, they quickly folded them into one of the two fronts. You know that the UDF, the Congress is there, the Muslim League is there, and yesterday they've also got the SDPI, the political arm of the band PFI. So they are talking, they are very, very smart in talking this double speak, and obviously have been very successful. They talk about secularism, they talk about religion, not being in politics, and they go running and embrace SDPI, which is an absolutely fanatical political party representing one community. So, anyway, it is what it is. And I think that no election is easy. I think anybody who says elections are easy, certainly I don't think elections are ever easy. Certainly not in states like Kerala, where people have been for many years brainwashed into believing some things about the BJP, and it will take time for them to
I
understand.
saw some functions take place in a church also, which is interesting.
Yeah, we are campaigning with every community. I have gone to mosques, I've visited Muslim community, I visited Christian community, I visited the fishing community. And because what I am offering today, what Narendra Modi ji is offering, is something that every young person, regardless of caste, creed, community or gender, wants. Every family wants India to move forward. Everybody wants economic development. Everybody wants prosperity. So that message is absolutely something that is relevant and must be relevant to every family and every citizen of this constituency and indeed Kerala. So that is the message, and today the church invited us to speak. I think that is one of the first times that the church has invited a BJP candidate to speak, and I spoke, and I think I addressed most of the concerns that they have.
Finally, how do you react to the India alliance or the India bloc at least they seem to have come together, they seem to have seat sharings worked out, they've got an issue, you guys have given Kejriwal an issue for them, they didn't have an emotive issue, now they've got...
Kejriwal an issue for them? I don't know, I think
the ED.
It's an embarrassing issue for them. Kejriwal, the first complaint against Kejriwal was filed by the Congress party with the Delhi police. I think the Congress loves alliance partners who are weaker, who are dependent on the Congress for survival. Kejriwal has been quickly adopted into the India alliance fold today and has become the mascot of the Congress because the Kejriwal is now weak and vulnerable. And Kejriwal has brought this upon himself. He had for the last 6 months opportunities through 9 summons where he could have clarified his innocence if he was innocent. He chose not to do so. And any law enforcement agency, if the Delhi police sends you a notice, Priya, and you choose not to respond to it, you can do it once, twice. The third time they'll come to your house and they'll serve you a warrant for arrest. That is the way law enforcement works. It doesn't change just because you are a chief minister or you are a member of the INDI alliance. So, if they play victim card quite well, income tax, Arvind Kejriwal, ED, but the fact is
freezing of accounts.
There's no freezing of accounts, as you know. They have said freezing of account, like Joseph Goebbels, hoping that lie becomes the truth, and it is not freezing. There's no freezing of account. The income tax put a lien on a certain amount of money in that account, saying that much of money should be left in the account because that is the claim that the income tax is demanding from the Congress party. The Congress went to the IT appellate authority, got that decision, didn't get success there, and the Congress has not gone to the High Court. Why has the Congress not gone to the High Court yet? Because they know they will lose in the High Court. The case that the income tax has is a strong case where the Congress knows it has no defense, and therefore they are trying to make the most of it by playing victim card and patently lying about the fact and saying that the account has been frozen, as you yourself said. The account has not been frozen. They have money to use there, but they are characterizing this to everybody as if it is some great conspiracy to have their accounts frozen.
A bit about yourself. Do you miss your professional life? Was your transition into politics organic, or was it something you'd planned?
I've been in public life for 18 years now, Priya. I have stopped missing all that. I came in, of course, in my first term, never anticipating that I will have a long term in politics. I didn't think I'd be successful. But after the first term and after the 2G scam and and the confidence that I got that I can make a difference and impact, I stayed the course, and I've been elected 3 times to Rajya Sabha. I've served 3 times, and I have served for 3 years as a minister. And throughout those 18 years, I have had a blemish-free track record, and not a black mark against me. I've never had to resign because of an IPL scam. I've never had to do any of that. So I've had a absolutely rock solid performance as a
Which
minister.
of your debates do you enjoy the most? Do you remember the most that you enjoyed?
In Parliament, or no? Of course, all the early days when I was a member of Parliament, when I used to speak about every subject, every budget. I remember the one in 2009 when I spoke about infrastructure of opportunity and governance reforms. When I met the Honorable Prime Minister, who was then the Chief Minister in 2012 in Gujarat, he had that article, that cutting in front of him, and he asked me what infrastructure of opportunity meant and what governance reforms meant. And nobody had ever asked me that, and that is the day I decided to be a Bhakt of Narendra Modi ji, because he was a person who was taking the time to read what one independent MP was saying about governance reforms and the future of India, and that he would take that time and then invite me to meet him and then talk about it, showed me the kind of man he was, and I've always been, from that day onwards, I've certainly been a big admirer of his.
And what do you do when you're not being a politician? What are you reading? What are you watching?
Of course, now I'm not.
Not right now, but...
No. Otherwise, last year I read 21 books, which I put up there. I think at the end of the year, I put it up there on Twitter and as Minister of IT and Minister of Skilling, I think reading is absolutely important, and is almost necessary to keep current and be able to deal with young entrepreneurs and startups who are all very bright and aggressive and inspiring. So I think that is absolutely important.
Thank you, Mr. Chandrasekhar, and let's see if you can deliver a piece of the promised land to the BJP. This was Rajeev Chandrasekhar, a conversation with him about his plans and his campaign against Shashi Tharoor.